everyone. Happy evening. A very good evening. I hope and I believe all of you are doing well. A quick note whether the audio visual is all good. All right, I hope you can hear me and see me as well. So happy evening, everyone. And here we are to discuss basically the grand test strategy. And particularly, I would be addressing the FMG students here. The NEET PG students can ask doubts as well if you have any related to your preparation. But the focus in the today's session is going to be on the FMG students. What should be your grand test strategy? How important or whether it is actually important to give grand test? How frequently you should be giving it, what should be your approach, how you should learn out of it, how should you leverage the grand test basically to improve your scores, and does that really help? Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss in this session. So if you have any queries related to your preparation, please drop those queries in the live chat. I'll be addressing those queries as well, right? So discussing the ultimate grand strategy for the FMG students, the why you should be giving, when you should be giving, and how. Okay, how to give and how to review that. All right. So welcome to our new YouTube channel, which is Desi Doctor Abroad, which basically talks about all the things that we as Indian students should be knowing about pursuing our medical careers abroad. Okay. Yes. So, grand test. Okay, actually tell me how many of you who are appearing for FMG December 2022 exam, you have started giving the grand test or basically the mock test? How many of you have actually started giving the grand test or the mock test? Because what I have seen personally is majority of the students make this mistake of that we'll be giving the grand test once we finish all the 19 subjects. But trust me that if you are having that approach or that understanding, it's I would say it's not the one that you should be actually doing. Okay, so please start giving grand test if you have not started yet. So remember, the best time to give the grand test is now. It's always better late than never. So please start giving the grand test if you have not started yet. Very, very important. And why? For one, you are an early mover, I can see. Of course, the earlier you start, the better. Now, why it is important to give the grand test? First of all, the most important thing is it helps you in time management, right? It helps you in time management. It helps you get a reality check that how much actually you can finish the paper well within time or how much more practice you need. It also gives you a reality check on the subjects, which are your strong subjects, which are your weak subjects, which subjects need more focus in the coming days. So it is basically, it's like a reality check. It's like a rehearsal before the actual movie of the exam. So please give the mock test as early as possible. You can give the mock test once in 15 days, right? You can give the mock test once in 15 days, and then in the month of November, you can even give weekly. It's very, very important to follow the same timelines that you would do in the real examination hall as well, so that it gives you an idea on how well you are able to manage your time while giving this grand test. Okay. And remember that just giving grand test is not going to help you. The very important part is also reviewing those grand tests. Why review? Is basically to learn out of those grand tests. Okay, you never know, the same questions might be repeated in your exam. Okay, so please learn out of it. After every grand test, basically you should be having the analysis that what subjects I'm doing good, what subjects I'm not doing good. If consistently you see that in the consecutive grand test, every time like a particular subject, let's say pharmac, micro, it's always coming in my weak subject, that means that subject needs special attention. So start revising that subject. So whichever subject is your consistently weak subject, give that subject at least half an hour daily for that subject, so that your weak subject turns into the strong subject, right? So make sure you do that, you analyze that, and after that, see your scores, or how well you are scoring in the grand test. Okay, so it's absolutely all right no matter what the results of grand test are. Please do not get disheartened by that, okay, because like I'm not reaching the 150 ka mark, so I will stop giving the grand test. Please don't do that. Majority of the students don't give the grand test because they feel that agar marks bahut hi kam aaye, so that's gonna shatter my confidence. Rather, it should be the other way around. It should help you build on your MCQ solving skills. Okay. So if you are scoring like 130 also in your mock test, it's good enough, right? You can definitely build on that. It should not be too less, like 70 or 80 is what you are scoring, but at least like 120, 130, if you are in that range currently, considering it's October and you now have more 2 months time basically, then you can build up on that. Okay, so the scores should not be disheartening. Okay, the only purpose of giving grand test is to learn and to grow out of that, right? So after every grand test, try to analyze that what kind of questions are you making wrong. So generally you would try to do it into 3 categories. Okay, Apurva, this applies for the NEET PG students also. It's a general strategy, right? So if you have any queries particularly, you can also put it down here. So categorize your mistakes basically into 3 categories with every grand test. Okay, what are those 3 types of mistakes? One is silly mistake, right? You knew the answer, but you missed reading on except, you missed reading on not, like not reading the question properly. That is one mistake. Second is the concept based questions where I'm making mistake. Let's say subjects like physiology or conceptual questions. I am making mistake there. Next is the memory based questions. Basically, it's a fact based question that I'm making mistakes in. Now with every grand test, basically you should have this table, ready. So GT1, GT2, GT3, how much was my score? Always it has to be an upgoing graph. That is your only motto of giving the grand test. It's not like scoring 150 plus in every grand test. The only thing that you should be focusing on is the graph going up, right? That's the most important. Then the next one, that is the type of mistakes that I said. Categorize कि मैंने silly mistakes कितनी की? Let's say 4, 5, 6. Then what are the concept based questions that I made wrong? 20, 25, whatever. And then the memory based. So when you have this chart handy, you will see that what kind of questions I'm generally tending to make wrong. So work on that area particularly. Also write down the subject which is my weakest 3 subjects with every grand test, so that it gives you an idea that which subject I am making mistakes consistently. Yes, write it on paper, Ramesh. Absolutely, you need to have that one paper, one chart, one sheet where you will make all this entire table. The weakest subjects, the score, the weakest subjects, the types of mistakes that I have made. So do it on a sheet of paper. And in that same sheet, try adding on with every grand test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So this will help you analyze. So what do you need to do? Let's say if I'm seeing that it's a silly mistakes that I am doing a lot of mistakes in, silly questions I'm doing a lot of mistakes, basically means I need to tackle this by practicing more MCQs. That's the only thing that you need to do. If it's a concept based, basically it means I need to go back to the notes or the videos and get my foundation strong. If it is a memory or fact-based questions which is wrong, that means I need more frequent revisions, or maybe I need to learn the mnemonics, which I try to help you a lot in the ongoing plus course as well for mnemonics. So all the plus subscribers, if I have here of Unacademy plus subscribers, please make sure that you take advantage of the ongoing mnemonics course as well. So अपूर्वा, टेस्ट में टाइमर को देख के एंजाइटी होती है, टाइम सही से मैनेज होता है, but it predisposes to making silly mistakes. Exactly. This aggravates much more in the real examination hall. So always your target should be, while giving the grand test, if the exam is of 3.5 hours, try to complete the grand test in 3 hours only. It should always be half an hour less. Like in FMGE, you have part A and part B. it should be at least 15 minutes prior in both part A and part B. Because in exam, we try to overthink and overanalyze, so that takes more time. So always try to do that. And with practice, you will develop that skill of not getting anxious or panicked. The more tests you give, you realize that you are actually in a better position than you thought, right? So that will help you develop the skills. Okay. Yes. Hi, Monimala. Now that was about giving the grand test, and give it like you would give the actual exam. Please don't take breaks, don't use your phones, don't get distracted in the middle of the grand test. Give it like you would actually give the exam. Now coming to how you should be reviewing and where you can give this grand test. See, the most important, as I was telling you, like this is the right time to start the grand test practice. We are hosting a free grand test for FMG students on day after tomorrow, that is on October 9th at 9 a.m. Most important, it's a free grand test. Second, always try to give the grand test from multiple platforms. Do not use one resource all the time, because one particular resource has a bias for typical kind of questions, a particular kind of questions. So try to give the grand test from as many platforms as possible, so that all kind of questions you get to see. So now this is the right time for the students, FMG students, to give this free grand test. Even the NEET PG students can attempt this. And this is day after tomorrow itself at 9 a.m. I'll be sharing the link. There's basically the link given in the description of this video as well. Right, I hope you'll be able to see the link. Okay, so right, so if you go to the description, there is written FMG Grand Test and there is a link which is given. Okay, so you can just take a minute and enroll right now for that. And if it is asking for a code while enrolling, you can use my code Dr. Nikita while enrolling. Okay, it's absolutely free and it will definitely help you analyze your preparation, assess your preparation and take it in the right direction. So you can just take a minute and enroll for the free test. And because I don't want anybody of you to forget enrolling for this after this session and then the test goes away, right? You forget that because you don't have much time now to enroll. So make sure you do that. Okay, and great, Farman. So we were talking about the review, right? So the review of the grand test, there are two ways that you can review the grand test. Either you can review it on the same day, right? But that actually gets a bit boring, right? Too much on the brains. So what you can rather do is you can divide it in every single day. So like let's say you are giving the grand test on Sunday, and then maybe Monday to Friday you can use the 5 days to review, and Saturday basically you can consolidate. Okay, so you can consolidate that whatever you are learning out of grand test. I would honestly suggest you to make the notes, because you will never come back to the grand test solutions. Like if you're giving from the multiple platforms, you will never get time to revise from the multiple platforms. But if you make your own consolidated notes, make your separate GT book, right? The learnings from the GTs, make your separate book. And in that, every subject should go at one place, particular place. Like let's say first 20 pages physiology, next 20 pages anatomy, next is biochemistry. So you know that give a page number to your notebook, right? Like it's you are authoring a book, categorize it into the subjects. Whatever you are learning out of GT1 from anatomy, right? There's something that you want to remember. You made mistake and you want to remember. So put it down into the anatomy section, right? From the GT1, this is what I learned from anatomy. And what do you do is on Saturday, Monday to Friday, you are reviewing the questions, okay? And so let's say there are 300 questions, 150. Monday to Friday is 5 days. So basically what you need to do is 60 questions per day only is what you need to review. Now do time boxing. It does not mean that the entire day you will just review the 60 questions. Rather, yes, Apurva, apart from the 20th notebook, you should be making one GT ka book as well. Okay. So 60 questions per day. Maximum time that you should be giving is, don't give much time, like let's say 2 minutes per question. बहुत ज़्यादा time डालने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. 60 into 2 is basically 120 minutes. That means just 2 hours per day is what I need to do the review for the 60 questions. I'm including the explanation, reading the explanation and making notes in all this time frame. So decide that time frame. Maybe you can do 2 hours at a stretch. You can do half hour ka slot, like morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever suits you the best. You can customize that. But make sure that 60 questions per day you are reviewing. Then 5 days completes the 300 questions. On Saturday, you are reviewing that grand test ka notes, whatever you have made. Put every mistake that you have done into that grand test, or every important point that you think you will forget by the when the exam comes. Put it into that grand test ka notes. And for every grand test, start adding on the notes to that particular section of the subject. ठीक है? So this is what should be your plan basically for reviewing. Do make notes. It's very, very important before giving the next grand test. You should be reviewing the previous grand test. Okay, the notes that you have made, because even the topics will be repeated from one grand test to the other. And trust me, the exams are not very difficult. It is, you'll get the questions on the same topics. Try to master those topics. Previous year questions are very, very important to ace in any exam. Okay. Yes, the best part here of giving the grand test on Unacademy platform is you get the answers, the solutions on the same day, right? So you don't have to wait कि 5 दिन बाद आएगा और फिर हम review करेंगे, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. So that's the major advantage. So make sure you make the best of this free grand test. It's without any registration fees. And apart from that, the FMG students, we also have the ongoing last mile revision batch, which is going on the platform, but it is only for the subscribers. This again is something which is definitely going to help you in your FMG exam preparation. Apart from that, myself, I'm also taking a lot of mnemonics. Subject-wise mnemonics batch is going on. I'll be starting with subject crash courses with mnemonics. Like in this month, we are planning to do entire pharmacology in 10 sessions with all the mnemonics, right? So that you start loving pharmacology rather than getting afraid of that. You get approximately 15 to 20 questions from pharmac in any exam. So very, very important. We'll try to grab those marks. Okay, very, very important. Okay? Yes, this is for NEET PG. Mansi, are you talking about the grand test or the session? Either of them, the NEET PG students can also take advantage of this. Okay, any anatomy plus course? I've taken quite a few sessions in anatomy, but not dedicated. But I'm planning to do it in the upcoming month. Okay. All right. And yes, please make, question bank, be it on Unacademy. You have a lot of clinical scenario questions. You have the previous year papers also. Practicing the question bank, solving MCQs is very, very important if you want to score good in MCQ based exams. If you have that notion that if you are reading the notes, if you are watching the video lectures, you will clear the exam, then I'm sorry, you will not. It is MCQ practice which is more important, and MCQs, are much easier in a way if you develop the skills of, how to get to the right answer, eliminating the options, guessing, logical guessing of the right answer. All these tricks I basically discuss in my free live classes, the KBMD episodes, Kaun Banega MD episodes. Those are the free live quizzes on the platform that I take. So make sure you take advantage of that as well. Absolutely, Ramesh. I'll try to do that. That's a good one. Okay. Right. Any other queries related to grand test? If anybody has any queries related to grand test. NEET PG students, you all can take the advantage of the All Educator Ultimate Revision Batch, which includes TND, PYQs and the IBQs as well. Is the video playing or only I am seeing like this? I don't know what happened. Acha, okay, I think I'm back. Ritesh is saying the GT scores are not improving. So please follow the strategy that I mentioned. If you're just giving the grand test but not reviewing and learning out of it, then basically, it would be difficult to increase the scores. Analyze what kind of questions you are making mistakes in. Until and unless you narrow down what is your mistake, what is your weakness, you will not be able to learn out of it and to convert it into your strength. Manthan, particularly for FMG exam, I would say that books are a better resource, but the books are a must do. Right, like the FMG solution book is a good one to practice your questions. On the online apps, like even on Unacademy, you have the previous year papers which are must do. Apart from that, solve at least 10 MCQs, at least 10 new MCQs from the question bank. Okay, that you can do customization topic wise, whatever subject you are reading, then you can do that. Okay. Yes, most important in these last 2 months, please solve as many MCQs as you can. It's a must do thing. Without MCQs, you will not realize where you are doing the mistakes. MCQs, when you solve, when you make mistakes, you remember that topic better. That was a question, that was a MCQ, the question, and I made a mistake in that. So the more mistakes you make, the more you remember. Yeah, Manthan. Custom modules will be better because you are filtering down on the type of questions that you want to solve. Ritesh, are you talking about FMG or the NEET PG? Only doing PYQs as MCQ is not actually enough. If you are one of those students who's very good with the MCQ solving skills, your concepts are very strong, your foundation is strong, then only doing PYQs is good. Right, but if not, you struggle with the new MCQs, then definitely that student needs more MCQ practice. Okay, Ankit, I hope that answers your question. Yes, so Ritesh, I was asking whether you're asking for NEET PG or the FMG exam. Whatever exam it might be, your only criteria should be taking your graph up with every grand test, right? Your graph should never come down when you are doing the grand test. That should be your only target. How much is the actual objective score really does not matter. Okay, it's just that you are giving your best and you are trying to improve with every grand test. Yes, I hope that answers your questions. So, grand tests, are they necessary? Yes. How frequently? Once in 15 days you can give. Review, you can divide 60 questions per day, 2 hours every day. Monday to Friday, Saturday you can consolidate and revise before every grand test, make notes, make a different GT notebook basically, writing down whatever you have learned. Every question just put as a one-liner. Do not keep writing the entire explanation. Just copy pasting the explanation. It's just in one line. What did you learn out of that question? What did you learn out of that mistake is what you should be putting down. No, this grand test is going to be for that one particular day only. So make sure you give it well in time. You'll get the live ranking as well then. Right. Okay, so I think that answers majority of your queries, and please make sure you enroll for this grand test. First, because it's free. Second, it has some really good questions. Third, it will help you assess your preparation, give you a reality check, and very important, you get the solutions on the same day. The link for the enrollment is given in the description of this video as well. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining in. So that was a quick session. That was a quick session on your grand test strategy. Each one of you should be giving grand test. Please don't get disheartened by the results. It actually helps in scoring more rather than decreasing your confidence. Okay. Thank you so much everyone for joining in, and hoping to see you ace in the upcoming free grand test for FMG students on the Unacademy platform, 9th of October, that is this Sunday at 9 a.m. And do let me know how well did you perform in this grand test. Okay. Thank you and goodbye. Take care and keep studying, keep revising and keep winning. Thank you.